Okay. I think, in my experience, I'm from Canada. I lived in Europe for years and years and was approached by John Chikai and Makaya to join the group after they heard me at a jam session, right? And I said, absolutely. But part of what I was doing in Germany was I was teaching at three universities. And one of my first ideas with the entire Jazz and Apartheid um, project was if and when, more when than if, we're going to other centers, and that part of I always felt that a big part of the experience should be at the university or high school or college level, wherever we go. I talked to Claude Deppa about bringing this information to the UK colleges and universities to share this experience that we have, learning the music, presenting the music, and more importantly, knowing where that music came from and why it's important. As a Canadian, my first introduction to the music of Johnny Diani was overwhelming. I've always been a free jazz player and that, but to see this folkloric and creative connection and how important it became to all of us, especially through Louis Moholo and Duru and Makaya, sharing those experiences. So part of that, and when I taught at the universities and started the jazz festival in Frankfurt, that was a big part of that, because Frankfurt is again a hub of European jazz. It really developed there. So our idea was to offer these opportunities and this information, the background, to the students as well. So maybe that's where some of that experience I have can be translated or transferred with your group. But so those are some of the things. The other is, I run a festival that we had 100,000 people in 4 nights last year, which is massive. I hire
That's
100
crazy.
artists. Yeah, it's absolutely. And I wasn't even there because my you see my eyes a little squinty. My left retina detached January 13th, and the festival's February 1st. So I did everything remotely, and I finally showed up on the festival site with the Pirates patch. But yeah, 100,000 people in 4 nights. We run 7 outdoor stages, 2 indoor stages. It's a 4-kilometer outdoor urban forested loop in the city of Edmonton. And when you Google Edmonton, you'll see we have the largest contiguous urban forest per capita in North America. In our city, it's all along the river. It's 22 times larger than Central Park. And we're blessed here. It's 40 below in the winter, but the city maintains cross-country ski trails and all that. What I'm getting at is our event. Now I see the connections, Drew, and thank you to Nyrox in particular. Is their cultural experiences in a natural setting. Ours is an urban forest. There's a lot of connections here and parallels, and so we also have with that we have Indigenous and Métis. The Indians used to be called the indigenous people, the First Nations. The connection with the Francophone culture developed in the Métis, the explorers of this area, the coureurs de bois, the voyageurs, and all that. So we present those cultural experiences and those cultural touch points and learning opportunities within this urban forest tour of Illuminated Lantern Festival and real, authentic, and that's the important thing, cultural experiences. So now I'm seeing some of the parallels, and yeah, 100,000 people in 4 hours of programming per night over 4 nights in a dark ravine forested area is
Wow.
challenging, but it was really successful. And now when I started, we had 35,000. We hit 60,000 just before the pandemic. During the pandemic, I changed everything to virtual and hybrid and virtual. So we would broadcast the artists, we would pre-record them. We still had a 4-kilometer loop, and we still had 40,000 people during the pandemic because it was outdoors.